Hey guys, remember in our previous video, our sublimation basics, we did this blue jacket here. Well, today we're going to be changing the color completely and we're going to take it up a notch, so stick around and I'll show you how. Here we have our previous design here and our new design, which we're going to change completely. As you saw, we've changed it from blue to yellow. Now, the first thing we need to do to make sure that we do better in terms of basics is trying to make our jacket look better overall in terms of design. So as you can see on our first jacket here, the blue one, our actual strip in front of the zip is not matching its background, as you can see here, and as you can see on the screen, this here is much further up and it's not matching at all. Now we want to change this and make sure that this matches the background color in both these areas here. Overall, that'll make the jacket look a hell of a lot better. So what we did is we moved this portion further down so that we'd have the darkness coming in over around about this area here, and then the blue continues. Another thing I thought of is making our sleeve here, the writing itself, instead of being black, we're going to change this color to the color of our background here, which will make this pop out and look quite nice. As we're not going to change very much with our South African flag here, we're just adding an extra flair there. Next thing we want to talk about here is our sleeve. Now, as you can see, our sleeve just ends with a light blue and a bright yellow right at the end here, and now this is going to be up to you. It's going to be your choice, but either you could take your material, fold it over and then stitch it, and then just have a normal collar and bottom of your jacket as well. You could buy binding which actually stretches and conforms to your body much better, which in my opinion does a better job than just stitching it and folding it over and using the actual material of the print as the end of your collar, like most soft shell jackets. But in this case, I would prefer to use this because it does feel better on your skin, and you at least know that it's going to stay tighter to your skin than the rest of your jacket. And that is pretty much it. From here, all we need to do is print, press and get it stitched together. Okay guys, now we brushed a little bit on basics last time, but when it comes to printing sublimation, there's a few things that we need to remember. First of all, let's talk about our ink. Our ink is very crucial. If we make sure that our ink is running perfectly through our printer and we do the correct cleaning beforehand, we can make sure that if we're printing either one jacket or 50, our color is going to stay the same over that duration of print. When you're printing meters upon meters, you have to make sure your printer is clean. If you do not clean it within intervals of, let's say, a few prints, maybe a few meters in between, you're going to suffer from a slight color difference between your garments depending on what you're sublimating. Next thing is our paper. I use 120 GSM thick paper, and the pure reason for that is our printers put down a lot of ink. Now, that being said, if we want very vibrant colors, we need to make sure that our paper can hold the ink and degas it during the dye sublimation process. Now, if you're using a much thinner paper, you might get wrinkling, it might shrink, and then you start destroying fabric while you're pressing. And you make sure that your profiles are correct, because remember, you must always do a color swatch before you go ahead, just to make sure that the customer is happy with their print. Once it's printed, now let's talk about sublimation in general. I'm going to be using a soft shell material, which means it's got no stretch to it. So I have no fear of my paper and material shrinking incorrectly, so I get a lot of errors in between. Now, when I'm putting my material and paper through my press, I must always make sure that my material is first, then the paper. Well, what I mean by that is you always push it through with, let's say, 2 centimeters of material that's overlapping your paper, so that the material can go in and get an even stretch before your paper goes through. And in that process, I'm going to be using 225 degrees with 15 rotation speed. Now, yours may differ depending on which material you're using, but today I'm going to be using soft shell, so that's my settings parameter. Now that we've pressed it and all our material is ready, I just now have to hand it over to my in-house CMT. But don't worry, if you don't have your own in-house, this is a great opportunity to give business to other people and let someone else do it for you, because it is very specialized and you want to do it correctly. Otherwise, when you put your garment on, wash it, it's just going to fall apart. Hey guys, it's finally done and it's been put together. I'm very happy with our quality of work here. It's looking like the fading is done really correct. I like how it's matched in there. It's looking really nice. I was very worried about this. And if we have a look at our lion head logo, Machine Africa, that is looking spot on. I love the solid yellow pigment there. It matches really well with the rest of it. Then we've got our South African flag here. Those colors pop really well. I love the fact that that all matches with our background. Looking really good there. And if we take it to the other side, you can have a look at it in better detail here. All this yellow is now matching itself, and you can see our different pigments of yellow there. That is a very nice bright yellow, just to differentiate between the two. I love how this color came out, and of course the overall part of this jacket is looking really good once it's been put together. All we now need to do is put it on our model. Hey, where's my model?